So we had the weekend off. Obviously we had a fallow week, no game week last week. So the boys trained Tuesday, Wednesday, we had Thursday off. Trained Friday, hard session. Friday morning, the boys get Friday afternoon, Saturday and Sunday off. Boys came in last night for dinner. We had a bit of a meeting, and then the boys came in this morning. We had breakfast, and then the boys have mobility with the physios 10 minutes. And then they have some unit reviews, so forwards and backs separate. And then we have weights in 2 groups. The forwards went first, and then they did some line outs, and the backs did weights, and then they've got to walk through some skills, all in the barn this morning. And most of the guys who had no game did lower body weights, lower body strength. Any guys who had a game at the weekend probably did upper body, and we had a couple of guys who played games. A couple of exile players, so Bath and Wasps, who had a game yesterday, so they do recovery today. They won't do anything. Mobility and recovery, cryotherapy. So there's myself, Hugh Bennett, S&C coach, who was an ex-player, John Ashby, S&C coach, Ryan Chambers is our sports scientist. I'm head of performance, so I'm over the group. I primarily work with the backs, but work with all the team as well. Hugh Bennett works the forwards and all the team, so when we've got anything separate, so backs units or forwards units, Hugh will go with them. And then John Ashby does the whole thing.
Everything's pretty generic in what we're doing here this morning. Just getting the guys moving again. Like I said, they've had a good weekend off, but it's day one of a good, obviously, test week that we want to ramp the intensity up quite early on in the week, so getting them ready for the start of the week.
Obviously, rugby involves a lot of running, but it also involves a lot of getting up off the floor, pushing, pulling, hitting things, and some people neglect that in the training, so a lot of people do a lot of running or hit some bags, but power endurance is a session that replicates what happens on the field, so obviously we get a lot of our running from rugby, so we have the boys in twos, and we have different stations. Generally they work for about 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and we'll do 10 seconds on, 10 seconds off times 5, times 2, that'll be 1 set. We'll probably do 3 sets within the rugby session. So the boys will be med ball slams or pulling a sled or 1v1 sumo wrestle. It creates a lot of lactic acid for the boys. It's really tough, and it replicates how they feel in the game. It's something that we started back in 2002 when I was working with Warren and Craig White. He probably invented it, if you want to make it like that. And obviously some people do exercises like that, but for 30 seconds, whereas you can sort of lose intensity in that amount of time. So we keep it short and sharp, explosive, everything as fast as you can, getting up on floor as fast as you can. And it's really tough for the boys, and it, especially on a week like last week where we don't have a game, so we need to make sure we maintain our fitness, and we're trying to improve our fitness in that week off. So we did that in the last session on the Friday. It was really tough. It just gives the boys that feeling of how they get in the game, and when they may do defender driving more and then have to go for a scrum and just replicates that feeling.
The attitude from the guys, they're always second to none when they come in here. We're 6 weeks in now. Obviously, some results haven't gone our way, but in terms of the physical side of things, we always say when we come in this environment, guys got to be looking for gains, whether that's speed, strength, power. Everyone's got their individual work-ons, but there's no excuses when they come in this environment, especially when you see a gym like this, but everything else the backroom staff provide, second to none. So the guys, but the guys cherish that as well. They come in here and everyone really looks to improve on what they can.
We just leave no stone unturned, and sometimes the results go with you, sometimes they don't. And if you look at the France game, I mean, we probably should have won that game, and then maybe we shouldn't have beat them in the games previous to that. But it's just how sport is, it's how rugby is, isn't it? But obviously everyone's working hard, getting the boys up and train them as well as we can to perform at the weekend.
It's back in full training, hopefully it's all positive.
Yeah.
Didn't need a scan.
Yeah.
I'll put this on the desk so you can have a little read of it when you see it. Pass all the principles. You will have an independent assessment as a matter of course from us. With the shoes on, coaching.
I thought it would be nice to say that obviously all of us, our thoughts with Steve James and James' family, and they're such likeable people, and we all got on with them, and we're not with them physically but with them in spirit during their funeral. So I want to say a few words for Steve because know him really well, really like him and his family. Devastating news, just wanted to say that.
But if I can start with the fly half position, how's Dan Bigger at the moment?
He's looking good actually, so the initial signs are really positive. Doesn't need a scan, he's taking all the boxes that he needs at this time. So he's on good course at the minute, so hopefully with no hiccups, we'll have some good news. when you're in a game and you're down by maybe 7 points, or for example, in France, when we chose to go for the scrum before half time, that's when your leaders, need recognise, right, this is a key moment, and this is where we have to be absolutely ruthless. We've got our foot on the throat, and we have to finish here. So there's been a few moments like that which I think we've let slip, and watching them back, everyone's pretty gutted about that. So keep sticking to the game plan, creating opportunities, and we'll have the talent to hopefully get over that whitewashing school. It actually surprised me how natural it sort of feels. It's just because I've been here for so long as a player, but loads of the management, the staff and the players are still the same. Felt like I've just slipped straight back in pretty nicely. So didn't realise how much I'd learned actually about being a coach. It's a lot different to what I thought. If I compared myself now compared to day one of Barbarians Week when I was first in, I'm much better than that already, like massively, improved so much. It's not personal perhaps as people think, but being able to represent Wales and Twickenham and to get a win down there, and what that means to the country back home if you come back on Sunday, it's a much easier trip to the co-op to get your milk, it's brilliant because everybody's so happy.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Right, should we head outside, please?
Usually have it. Yeah. Yeah, the campaign could have been different if we had some more wins, that's for sure. But no, it's been good. Getting to know everything, the different ways we're playing, getting to know different players, and that side of it could have been easier with those wins. But always learning all the time and trying to get better every week. There's no better way to put it right than against our lovely enemies in England. So boys are looking forward to it. You're always in for a tough game in Twickenham, and it's going to be a tough one this weekend as well, no doubt about it. They've had some big wins, probably coming under pressure after that loss in France, but they've turned it around and they put some performances together, and it's always a tough place to go, and we know we've got to go there and get that important win. Everyone's putting their own stamp on things, and it's been good coming in and testing yourselves and making sure that you're not left behind. Obviously, finishing off home in our stadium is obviously something nice to do. Hopefully we can get the win against England and keep building our momentum, then going into Scotland, and if we can finish the campaign on a high, that will be good for us for the future.
Any contact with
James Collins here.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
Gwlad, full of smiles, looking happy, but then I guess that is you 24/7. I've never seen you. You're a rugby field, you obviously play the chip.
Yeah, obviously try and enjoy the moments, and it's just nice for it not to be raining today, so good.
How you feeling?
Do you walk through it?
Move on it.
It's a pair, eh?
So it's going to be your call. You either got Guinness or England Wales. Yep, that's it is. Okay, so you let me know and then I'll meet you up. Cool. Alright. Cheers. Where's the top there he is? So, Wales 1 being here? Yeah, they're going to leave. Thank you.
Boys.
So I'm just going to restart the scrum, but I'm going to talk to the captains. Alan, captain, just a penalty. attacking penalty advantage.
Long tapping, long tapping, long tapping, long tapping, long tapping, long
Here. Hold on. Time off. Time off. He's on. Lee, that's time, so don't rush it. Take your time.
We wanted to come up here, we wanted to put in a performance. I think at times we managed to do that. But obviously it's a very good English side and they pounce on the opportunities as well. You know, for us it's, you know, we've got one more game now. We want to make sure that we put in a good performance for our fans and for us back at home at Principality Stadium. You can look at the Irish game, the French game. We're putting a lot of, you know, we're getting into the 22 for a long periods of time. We just aren't quite converting as much as we want to. And today as well, I think we put them under a lot of pressure, but they put in a good defensive display. And you know, we would have liked to have probably converted a couple of opportunities, especially in the first half there, but we couldn't. You know, sounds like we're talking about this a little bit. We have to learn from it, but it's you know, we want to go out there and make sure that, you know, we're just growing as a team and making sure we're putting in good performances for our home fans. Running out onto Principality Stadium in front of that, you know, probably to us boys the best, you know, rugby football union ground in the world. You know, we'd like to go out there and put in a good performance, especially against Scotland, who are a good side. Put in some very good performances this year. They've got a big game against France tomorrow, so we want to make sure that we're finishing on a high note and looking forward to then the boys going back to their clubs to do well.
Only do one, don't double it like you last time. I'm not going to be here for ages.